Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. Hope your short work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Plenty to do today. Saints lose. They're working out kickers. We got to talk about that. Weekend in the Southeastern Conference. LSU played Western Kentucky in what was potentially the ugliest football game I've ever watched in that stadium. And we'll talk about that as well. Plus, Lane Kiffin is at the microphone right now, and we're going to do some of that. Jordan, I may need you to help me today. I'm not doing so well. I hit 610 golf shots yesterday.
Yeah, that's...
None of them went in the hole.
That might be 600 more I've ever done in my life. So that's...
It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I had a great time at Swing Easy Golf Club, but I am so sore. It is a real problem. Chest, arms, back, even my legs.
Nothing is worse than back soreness.
It was like 4 hours of just constant golf shots, and none of them went in.
Well, was there like a point in time where you're kind of close? Where you
I hit the pin 4 times.
Oh, okay.
4 times.
Okay.
Somebody, it's on the YouTube stream's still up there. Somebody clipped out my closest one when I dove on the ground, and
so you was like, oh, this the one.
I mean, it was in the hole. It hit the pin. It rattled around and bounced out.
Heartbreak City. 4
hours of golf shot hitting yesterday. So we're going to try to power through this show through extreme fatigue and soreness. But I think we can do it. So we'll start it with our Genesis opening drive.
It's time for Hunt's opening drive, presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge.
As I mentioned, Lane Kiffin is at the microphone right now. I listened to about 15 minutes of his press conference. So let's kind of put all this together. Right after we came off the air on Friday, Keith Carter, Ole Miss's athletic director, issued that statement saying that we'll find out Lane Kiffin's future with Ole Miss coming up after the game. We're focused on the Egg Bowl on Saturday. We'll make that announcement. A bunch of nothing, basically saying we don't have any answers for you after our meeting with Lane Kiffin. Okay. And then we react to that all weekend, and then Lane Kiffin goes to the podium today. Here is my takeaway, and it's essentially closing this case for me personally. It certainly doesn't close it in actuality, but it closes it for me. Lane Kiffin has been asked these questions now for 3 weeks. And again, today, 3 days after, 2 days after, however you want to turn that, the statement that Ole Miss released, he was asked these questions again. I'll give you the kind of variations. He literally I just watched him walk off the set, so certainly we don't have that audio clip. It just happened in Oxford. But this is a paraphrasing of what he just said at the podium. He was asked, hey, you're 2 wins shy of John Vaught for the all-time winningest head coach at Ole Miss. How much does that mean to you? Which is a really creative way of asking if you're going to coach Ole Miss in the playoff. And Kiffin just kind of brushed it aside and said, I didn't really know that. Didn't say anything. Then he was asked, basically, are you going to make a decision about your future with Ole Miss after the game, or has that decision already been made? And Kiffin said, I don't know how many times y'all are going to ask this. It's a perfectly fair question, but I'm not going to answer the question. We've already had 3 of them. And so the Ole Miss media kind of tried. They tossed a few out there in regard to the statement, in regard to his future. Never mentioned Florida or LSU by name, but just kind of trying to probe at that. And Lane Kiffin just shuts the door on it. And he keeps getting the questions, and he keeps getting the questions. And he got them last week as well on the teleconference and said, oh, can't wait for next week. And here's the deal. Like, this is what I come back to. He could stop all these questions. He could stop them. He chooses not to. And he's choosing not to because he's leaving. He's choosing not to answer the questions because he's leaving. He would not field one more question like that if he went up and said, I understand that all this is going on. We're not paying attention to it because I'm staying at Ole Miss. I'm coaching this team in the playoff, and I'll be here next year. He could say that, and then no one would ask any more questions, and he could sign the contract extension. Ross Bjork, that's one AD ago. Keith Carter over at Ole Miss has said on the record that we're trying to get an extension done. That extension is on his desk. He won't sign it because he's leaving. I believe Lane Kiffin is going to be the next head coach at LSU. That's the sentiment from just about everyone that you talk to around Baton Rouge. No one gives you 100%. No one says it's a done deal. But that's just the expectation. And the only thing standing in the way of Lane Kiffin being LSU's next head coach is Lane Kiffin having essentially an epiphany and going, well, we won. We're 11-1. We're the 5 seed hosting a playoff game in Oxford in 3 weeks, and I'm not leaving. But no one expects that to happen because it hasn't happened yet. And every single time Lane Kiffin goes to the microphone, that just becomes more and more evident. Ole Miss has had ample opportunity in press conferences, in releases, in all of those circumstances to make an announcement that Lane Kiffin is staying, and it doesn't happen. And this is quite literally the biggest regular season week in Ole Miss football in 50 years. 50 years. And it's now being destroyed from the inside because Lane Kiffin is going to leave. And it just, I didn't know exactly where the open of my show was going to go today because I did not know what his press conference was going to hold. And he held that press conference at 12:40, 20 minutes before I go on the air. And it literally did not end until 50 seconds into my show. So, I'm just reacting to this live and as I hear it. And it's just very, very obvious what the situation is. The one question that Lane Kiffin did answer today was how much does it mean to you to finish out the season with your team? And he said, I haven't thought of anything else. It means a lot. And I believe him. And I believe that's why we're in the situation that we're in. Because you see coaches leave their team for other jobs before a season ends. That happens every once in a while. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. He doesn't want to do that. He could. If he's agreed to be the next head coach at LSU and those contractual terms are suitable to him and he knows where he's going to be next, he could come to Baton Rouge. He doesn't want to. He wants to coach the team. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. It's just very obvious at this point based on the non-answers that you get. And the term is the silence is deafening. When you don't answer questions and you leave you leave speculation open, it's going to come rampantly. And so I wasn't sure what today would bring. I didn't figure the heat would get turned up too much today, but you essentially have what you're going to have. I don't think Lane Kiffin meets with the media again this week. He doesn't have to do the coach's teleconference on Wednesday. I'm not sure what Ole Miss's media schedule is beyond that. But today was always going to be a mild press conference because you got a statement on Friday. You can toss a couple at him today. He's going to deflect them as usual. But then the heat is going to go to 1,000 Friday postgame. Friday postgame is going to be the spot where the Ole Miss media holds his feet to the fire. And it would not surprise me if Keith Carter wasn't in front of the media on Friday after that game. You remember with the Les Miles situation back in 2015 when Joe Oliva ended up at the podium after the Texas A&M game in Baton Rouge. Now, this is different. That's a firing, and this is a guy that's leaving. But I could absolutely see a situation where Keith Carter comes to that microphone after Ole Miss beats Mississippi State on Friday. It's a 11 o'clock kickoff. And he goes to the podium and says, look, we're going to be in the playoffs. We're 11-1. We were number 5 in the rankings this week, and we're going to be number 5 or 6 this week. And we're committed to Ole Miss and these players and whatever. But there are going to be significant questions asked, and I think they will be pressed harder. I could see a situation on Friday post-game where the beat writers say, don't you think it's a little bit unreasonable that you are not answering questions about the biggest game in your career coming up in 3 weeks? I think it's going to be a little bit more than do you have anything to say? They're going to press. Because the longer there's nothing from Lane, the more evidence that something is coming. We know what that something is. And Lane Kiffin's going to be the coach at LSU. It was weird to walk around campus on Saturday with the game, LSU in Western Kentucky, and I'm walking around, and all you get is questions about Lane Kiffin. That's the entire campus was consumed with this on Saturday, on a game day, on senior night. And the team kind of played like that. I don't blame the performance on that, but it was a fitting effort based on the energy level that was committed into that game on Saturday. And at this point, after another press conference comes and goes, the writing is very much on the wall. And I fully expect this time next week, it's Monday. This time next week, I fully expect that LSU will have named Lane Kiffin as next head coach. That's what I think. I'm not reporting it. I'm hypothesizing and I'm editorializing based on what's in front of my face. It's a guy that won't answer questions about his future because the answers are not acceptable to coaching his team on Friday. So he won't give them. That's where we are with LSU and Lane Kiffin. That's our Genesis opening drive. We will step aside, come back, and talk about some actual football. We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Saw on Facebook earlier today, Michelle Southern, who hosts our afternoon drive on Eagle 98.1, had a bathroom customized in her house over the last month. And David Duvall and One Bath and Closets were on the job. She posted the finished pictures today. Just a spotless and gorgeous renovation of a bathroom in the Southern home. You can do that for yourself. Call David Duvall, schedule that consultation, tell him what you're looking for. He'll go through the design process for you, and I can promise you this, David and his team will do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. It's not one of those deals where they take your job, take your check, make sure they get through it as quickly as possible to get to the next job. That's just not how they work at One Bath and Closets. They do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. They won't be coming back 6 weeks later to touch up something they got through quickly. It'll be done right the first time. That's their promise to you at One Bath and Closets. Check them out online, onebathandclosets.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Attention diesel mechanics, River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
So LSU played a football game on Saturday night. If a game happens and nobody's there to watch it, did it really happen? That the tree falling in the woods deal?
Well, unfortunately, I spent, 3 hours watching it, so somebody's got to pay for this.
I mean, I'm serious about this. I had to go back this morning and rewatch the highlights to jog my memory on what I even watched on Saturday. It was like a boring malaise. I couldn't remember anything. I was like, I think a bunch of guys got hurt. There was nobody there. I didn't remember like any of the plays. It was so boring. It was criminal.
Well, the highlight of the game came at the very end when you get Kenzel Kelly. Free my boy BK, free him. And then Harlem Berry gets stripped for a fumble.
I didn't realize that had happened because I'm obviously in the press box in the stadium, but it was the television copy that had the long live BK and then a 70-yard fumble return for a touchdown. So yeah, that was tough. But look, the offense was awful, and that's the biggest storyline from the game. The defense obviously showed up for work, and they put it in. Look, you had Western Kentucky go down the field on their first drive, 9 plays, 57 yards, and kick that field goal. And then after that, Western Kentucky went punt, turnover on downs, punt, kneel out the half, punt, interception, punt, turnover on downs.
Yep.
It was good. Good work from the defense. Now, you got a little help. Western Kentucky threw a throwback pass to the quarterback who would have walked into the end zone. He dropped it. But that happens sometimes. The defense, other than that, was excellent in the game against Western Kentucky. I thought the pass defense was great, even without Mansour Delane. Thought you saw really good work from P.J. Woodland, from DJ Pickett. I thought you saw great work from Deshaun Spears at times. The safeties were good. It's a high efficiency Western Kentucky passing game, and LSU did a good job to stop it. But ultimately, I expect your defense to go out there against a Sun Belt team and shut them down. And LSU did. Credit to them. I expect your offense to go move the ball, and LSU just didn't. Punt, interception, turnover on downs. Then you had the touchdown drive. Punt, field goal, punt, turnover on downs, and a fumble. It was just bad. You were awful on third down. Your percentage on third down for the game was 3 out of 16 against a Sun Belt defense that gave up 307 rushing yards to Toledo and over 200 to 3 other teams. Yet LSU could not run the ball and then did not try to run the ball. This is a stat. I got to credit Brian Haldane, who's our producer on the LSU Sports Radio Network and hosts mornings on Talk 107.3 here, and credit Hester, who also forwarded it to me. And then I went back and checked it, and it was absolutely correct. From the second snap of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, LSU, with a lead against Western Kentucky, snapped the ball 20 times between handoffs to a tailback against a team that is 11th out of 12 in Conference USA. I think I've been saying Sun Belt. 11th out of 12 in Conference USA in rushing defense. And you went 20 snaps without handing the ball to a running back. That's inconceivable to me. I understand that LSU's offensive line is, 1, not very good, and 2, very hurt. Tyree Adams got hurt. Braylon Moore got hurt. Ori Williams got hurt. I get it. And I get that you may think that running the ball is the second most efficient way for you to go score, that you're a better passing team. But you've got to hand the ball off some. And somehow along the line, over the course of the last 2 years, LSU has just abandoned the run. I know they're not good at it, but you can't abandon it even if you're not good at it. It's criminal for LSU for a second consecutive season to finish the year dead last in the SEC in rushing attempts. And again, you were playing against an awful Conference USA rushing defense, and you handed the ball off, or let Van Buren run it, 37 times for 3.4 yards per carry. You threw it a season-high 42 times. You didn't even do that efficiently. That was 60%, a touchdown and a pick. There's an issue with execution for LSU on offense. There's no doubt about that. Wilson Alexander and Scott Rabelais have a stat that since the division split and they formed Division I, this is likely going to be the first time in LSU history that LSU does not crack 26 points against an FBS/Division I team. First time in history that they don't score 26 in a single game against its level of competition. You had Louisiana Tech on the schedule. You had Western Kentucky on the schedule. Could not crack 25 points in those games. And I know that you're not good at running it, but you got to run the ball. And then you've got, Michael Van Buren, who, threw the kind of bad interception that he just kind of stared it down and threw it right to that linebacker, but just was inaccurate. And that's the stuff that we saw a lot of in August. We saw a lot of inaccuracy in erratic play from Michael Van Buren. Some good, some explosive, some dynamic, a lot of erratic. And that's the guy that you saw in the game on Saturday night. Now, he was under pressure a little bit, but there were times where he did have time to throw, and it just wasn't there. And I'll say this is more of like a big picture season point as opposed to breaking down LSU and Western Kentucky, which isn't the most exciting thing ever when it's a 13-10 game. But I got to the point now where our eyes did not really lie in any of the Augusts of Brian Kelly's time. And with all that access, we got all that information, and mostly it was right. Yes, I was dead wrong about Chris Hilton. I said Chris Hilton would have 1,000 yards receiving. He has 51. So I didn't get that right. But we didn't think this offensive line was very good, and it's not. We didn't think this offense was moving the ball very much, and it didn't. And we thought the defense looked pretty damn good, and the defense is pretty damn good. It's not elite. It's not championship. It's not awesome, but it's pretty damn good. And I now have that confidence to go out there and – because like 2 years ago, we saw the offense running up and down the field and the defense never stopping. I'm like, this is kind of one-sided. And then last year, I was like, I'm not sure I like LSU's defensive back play, and USC torched them. Unfortunately, that confidence that I'm armed with, having watched this team play in August, and then kind of prognosticating what we see, I'm not going to get that level of access anymore. Because if Lane Kiffin comes here, and I do think he's coming here, Lane Kiffin lets you come in, watch him stretch, and you're out of there. Brian Kelly was giving us whole practices. Brian Kelly was giving us scrimmages. Lane Kiffin's like, yeah, you can watch him run around cones. You want to take roll, you can, then get out. And that's probably what we're going to get. It is what it is. The coaches are under no obligation to let the media sit there and watch practice. But BK was going to do it, and he did, and we knew a lot of stuff about this team. And I feel like August is optimism season. We know that. We know that August is a time for everyone to feel like they've got a chance to do something really special. And if you want to blame the media for overinflating LSU, I have no issue with you doing that at all. I think most of us picked LSU 11-1, 10-2, at the bottom 9-3, and they very well could be 7-5. So if you want to say we did a terrible job, I don't have any issue with that at all. But I was gravely concerned about the offensive line. I thought the offensive line could derail things, and the offensive line has been a big issue, and the offense as a whole hasn't functioned in part due to that. And Frank Wilson went to the podium today, talked about the injuries on the offensive line, didn't sound super optimistic about any of it. Braylon Moore and Ori Williams got hurt on Saturday. Doesn't sound like they're going to play in the game coming up on Saturday in Oklahoma. Tyree Adams had the tightrope surgery a couple weeks ago. He is probably on track for the bowl game, he said. So you're not going to have your starting left tackle. You're not going to have your center in this game against one of the best defensive fronts in the country in Oklahoma. They lead the country in sacks and lead the country in tackles for loss. And you're not going to have Braylon Moore or Tyree Adams in the game. Doesn't sound like Ori Williams is going to go either. Ori Williams got hurt in the game on Saturday. You're shuffling guys in and out, left and right. You're moving guys from right tackle to left, in and out of the lineup. They're patchworking this offensive line any way we can, partly due to poor play, partly due to injury, and it never really gets significantly better. And Western Kentucky has been a sieve defensively up front, and LSU just could not create gashes, could not create big plays. Harlan Berry had one 25-yard run. Michael Van Buren got loose for a 16-yard run. I mean, Caden Durham's long run in 6 carries was 6 yards. They just don't function the offense very well, and you put yourself in long third downs. Michael Van Buren was not comfortable in those long third downs, and therefore you were putrid on offense. Like, big hat tip to the defense. They swarmed around and got 5 sacks. It was really cool to see all 3 Weeks brothers on the field at one time. That's something I know that they wanted to do. They desperately wanted to make that happen, and they did. Witt came out of the game after that and put the boot back on, but he was able to go out there for 1-2 series and play with his brothers. It was good to see LSU's defensive backs go out there without Mansour Delane and play very well. It was cool to see them get a couple of interceptions, get your hands on some balls. I thought pass rush was pretty good. Like, it was a good effort on defense, but I can't in good conscience lead with the defense today when you're playing a team from Conference USA. It's just not. I can't go and praise your defense for a Saturday night when you're playing against a team that's that outmatched. You've got the story from last night or from Saturday night was the fact that the offense just didn't do almost anything in the game. And that's just really, really disappointed that you put that many resources into that side of the football, and it's a bottom half of the SEC unit in just about everything outside of like pass attempts. That's the only thing you do toward the top of the league is throw it a lot. Not well, a lot. And it's a bummer. And you're going to go through essentially the most anemic offensive season in LSU football history without scoring over 25 points against a power conference team, a Division I team. It's nuts to see that happen. All right, that's a look at LSU and Western Kentucky. We'll shift gears over to the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk about the game against the Falcons yesterday, but also want to talk about the kicker situation as a bigger picture because they're doing some workouts, which they should be doing. We'll talk about all that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. Every car that is on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. When you think luxury vehicle, there are probably some brands that come to mind that may have been around a little bit longer than Genesis. Genesis should come to mind as well. And when I say luxury, don't immediately price yourself out. Go give them a look. They're on airline at PQ. It's a great time to get by and get a vehicle. The GV80 is my recommendation. It's the one I like the best on their line. It's their midsize SUV. I think it's awesome for small families. That fits your current situation. Go by and see them. You may not be in car buying mode today, but maybe you are in 2026 when a lease comes up. Maybe you are in the next 2 years. Just keep Genesis in mind as someone you'd like to go try. You can go see them at Airline and PQ. You can check out the entire inventory online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Some SEC football coming up 30 minutes from now. I'll get you the results from my picks from Friday. We'll talk with Denton Day, SiriusXM's college football overtime at the bottom of hour number 2. So 1 hour from now, we'll have Denton on. Still plenty to get to, though, here on this Monday. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Short work week for just about everybody this week. So hopefully you're planning on some good family time, some time away from the office. But thanks for getting things started this week with us. Banner offensive weekend in South Louisiana for the Tigers and the Saints, huh? Saints play Atlanta in what looked to be a pretty fired-up Superdome early on in that game. The offense just never showed up. Never showed up. Well, the defense was okay. Not great, but okay. Gave up 24 points. Did a decent job on Bijan Robinson other than one run. But the offense just no-shows. You have a pick six, and that's all you have to show offensively. One field goal. And it's a miracle Groupie made that one. We'll talk about that more. But you got down in the red zone 3 times. You can't score a touchdown. You get down there inside the 5. It's disjointed, and there's Taysom involved, and you're throwing the ball. It's just awful, awful execution down there inside the 5-yard line for an NFL football team. And it's disheartening, truly, to come out of a bye week at home against a team that Bryce Young has torched and just have nothing. And I have low expectations for this Saints team, this roster, this year, week to week. I picked the Falcons to win on Friday because I didn't think that I was going to count on the Saints to go out there and play 2 really good football games in a row. That's a lot for me to ask. But even though my expectations are very low, when you come out of a bye, I need you healthy and I need you to have some things that look really good and really efficient. And the Saints had none of that on Sunday. The Falcons are a garden variety NFL defense. And for your offensive-minded head coach to come out of a bye week and produce 3 points on offense is concerning. It's not disqualifying from the job. It doesn't destroy the future of the organization in this era of Saints footballs. But it's his first time to come out of a bye week, and that's disheartening to have that product on the field. When I look at the Saints rushing numbers, and it's disgraceful. Kamara before he got hurt, 3 carries for 11 yards. Okay. Taysom Hill, 10 carries for 17 yards. Taysom hasn't done anything all year. And they continue to give him the ball and feature him game in and game out, and it hasn't worked. 10 carries in this game led the team, and he was averaging 1.7 a carry. Now, I realize you get the snap over his head. That hurts the yardage total. But still, it's not as if he was getting a bunch of chunk plays. His long run of the day was 4 yards. Devin Neal actually did run the ball effectively when you got down to the red zone, and then you abandoned him on that drive. Tyler Shuck led the Saints in rushing on Sunday. 7 carries for 22 yards. That's the tops. It's going to be tough to win an NFL football game when your marginally athletic quarterback is leading you with 22 rushing yards. That's just a non-starter. So I thought Shuck did a couple of decent things. Throwing the ball, the pick, okay. But the running game's non-existent. The offensive line's not good enough. The game plan and the execution of that game plan were substandard coming out of a bye week, and the result is you only score 3 offensive points. Defense was okay. I mean, Cousins is washed, but defense was okay. I could live with 24 points, but the offense just no-showed. And that brings us to the next portion of this. It is 1:34 p.m. on Monday, and Blake Grupe is still under contract with the New Orleans Saints. Someone tell me why.
Don't worry, I'm working on it.
He leads the NFL, 8 misses, and if you want to miss a couple of 57-yarders, I will briefly look the other way. You start missing kicks from under 40, no. I got to have somebody else. Get somebody else. Charlie Smith, fine. Go to the waiver wire, fine. There's no excuse in having Blake Grupe go out there and miss a kick nearly every week. We are not even through November yet. He has 8 misses. 8. Sometimes a kicker has a bad day. You miss 3 kicks in the game. You lose the game by 6. Like, that's a tough day for a kicker. Okay, that's a tough Sunday. This is every game. Every game he misses a kick. He missed 2. No shot. I would keep it. You've got to go get another kicker. Now, let's pivot to what does that mean, go get another kicker? Well, the Saints are currently having some tryouts at kicker. Cade York is one of the kickers they're trying out. Former LSU Tiger, mid-round pick, Cleveland Browns. It's been a rough go in the NFL for Cade York. But I'm open to trying him out. He's obviously a big-time talent. What I'm not open to is signing Justin Tucker. No. I'm reading Ross Jackson's tweet here. He covers the Saints, Locked On Saints, and certainly over at LouisianaSports.net. Justin Tucker was reinstated on November 11th after serving a 10-game suspension tied to allegations from 16 massage therapists of sexually inappropriate behavior during massage sessions taking place between 2012 and 2016. Tucker denied the claims. He did not appeal the suspension. The Saints have 2 wins. They are one of the worst teams in the NFL. They are going nowhere in a hurry this year. There's a court of law for a reason, and the NFL has rules that you abide by, and I'm not here to convict nor vindicate Justin Tucker on these charges. That's not really my concern right here, right now. It's overwhelming. 16 massage therapists is overwhelming, but I'm not here to litigate that at all. What I'm telling you is there's no need to bring in a 36-year-old kicker who just came off his worst year in the NFL, who has this kind of baggage into the locker room for the final 2 months of the season. There's no reason to do that. Every move that you make as an organization should have some eyes on the future. I would argue bringing in a kicker who is well past his prime for a wasted season is I'm not even talking about the fact that he's got trouble off the field. That's just not productive. Give Charlie Smith a try. He's young. He might be your kicker for 10 years. Well, who cares who kicks for you this coming week? That doesn't matter. Whether you win or lose doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of the organization. Find a young guy you might be able to cling to. I'm okay if you sign a new young kicker every week until you find one you like. Kick one this week, kick one the next week. Go sign a third one the next week until you find a kicker that is young that you feel like could be your kicker of the future. Now, I realize that there's somebody in black and gold who would say, well, we have a young kicker. It's Blake Grupe. Like, that's the guy that could be our kicker of the future. Wrong answer. He's not. He may catch on somewhere else. He may pull a Baker Mayfield and be awful at the place that drafted him and then go on to play in a Pro Bowl. But, like, you got to look elsewhere at this point, and not Justin Tucker. There's like 5 reasons not to sign Justin Tucker. We could have a full discussion about this if the Saints were 10-2 right now and on the verge of a Super Bowl. I had the Chicago Cubs. Y'all know I'm a Cubs fan. They traded for Aroldis Chapman in 2016. The guy had just shot up a garage with his pregnant girlfriend inside. Like, that's not a great move. I don't, but he was a really good pitcher. So when he got out there on the mound and he had the Cubs jersey on, like, you just grit your teeth and you pull for the team. Because the league didn't suspend him. He's not in trouble by a court of law. Like, he's good to play. And that's just an example for me personally. And if the Saints are on the verge of playing for a Super Bowl, we'll discuss whether or not a guy who has served his NFL suspension should be on this team or not. And there would be some that say, I absolutely do not want him. And there would be some that say, yes, he did that. He got his suspension. He's served his suspension. He's eligible to play. We're trying to win. Put him out there. And neither one of those sides, to me, is right or wrong. It's just a matter of opinion. But as we sit here right now, and the New Orleans Saints are a team that's going nowhere, how about you try to do something productive for the future of the organization and bring in a young kicker, or let Charlie Smith, who's already in the building, go out there and do this? I do not understand the Justin Tucker thing. He was a mediocre kicker last year. Yeah, at one point he was potentially the greatest kicker in the history of the NFL. That was 5 years ago. It's not now. Sign someone new. Sign someone young. And find a kicker. Quarterback's tough. Left tackle's tough. Edge rusher, that's tough. True number one wide receiver, these are tough to find. Kicker, you can generally find one. And the Saints need to do that because watching Blake Grupe go out there week after week after week and fail is something that you can do without. And I think the Saints need to make that happen with a quickness. All right, you've heard my thoughts on the black and gold, Mr. Jordan. You have any thoughts on any of those?
Man, I'm thoroughly disappointed because you would think that the offensive mind that Kellen Moore, quote unquote, is and was, that there would be more creativity with the offense, or, maybe have a goal line package of any sort.
Those red zone.
I mean, Hunt, everybody
sequences were just atrocious.
Atrocious. Everybody and their mama knows if Taysom Hill's in the game, somewhere or another, he's going to do something with the ball. It's not rocket science. They're still using the same plays Sean Payton was running in 2018, 2019 before COVID. That's a problem. So, a lot of people don't judge a head coach on his first year and all that. But at this rate, I'm kind of have to judge Kellen Moore because, again, you come out of the bye week flat at home, dome is rocking, you come out flat, and the offense look like they haven't practiced all year.
I hadn't planned to do this, but I just clicked on it, and it absolutely validates my point. This is Taysom Hill's game log, game over game this year.
Okay.
Giants, 6 carries, -1 yard, a long of 2.
Wow.
New England, 1 carry, 1 yard.
Of course.
The Bears, 2 carries, -4 yards.
Remember that one.
The Bucks, 2 carries, 6 yards. Both were 3 yards.
Season high.
The Rams, 4 carries for 30 yards. He had a 29-yarder. So the other 3 went for 1. So you've got 1 run on the season so far. Carolina, 7 carries for 20 yards, long of 5. That's 2.9 yards per carry. And then on Sunday, 10 carries for 17 yards with a long of 4.
10 carries.
What have we seen over the course? That's 7 games. There's 1 carry that's positive, yet we're force-feeding 36-year-old Taysom Hill. That never works. Why are you doing this? It never works. It worked 5 years ago.
Yes.
It never works. I don't know why this is a focal point of the offense. He led the team in carries.
And you take out.
How about Devin Neal, who went right down the field at one point?
Thank you. I was just about to say that. You take out Devin Neal, who was cooking on a drive, and put in Taysom Hill. I get it. Alvin Kamara was hurt. But come on, Kellen. You put him. Are you supposed to be the genius? You're supposed to be the genius. So I'm just disgusted, especially because all week I was, we're going to shuck him. We're going to do all this. And, we got shucked.
Did not happen. Did not happen. Saints lose to Dirty Birds. They fall to 2-9 on the season. Is that right?
Hey, 2 and a lot.
2-9 on the season. So we'll see. Schedule theoretically lightens up as you move forward. But it was not a good Sunday in the Dome for the Black and Gold. They'll travel to Miami coming up this week. Back-to-back road games, Miami and Tampa. Back-to-back road trips to the state of Florida before you come home for some winnable games against the Panthers and the Jets. So we'll see. But that was a bummer. And fittingly, the ESPN.com picture of the Saints game is Grupe putting his head in his hands after yet another field goal miss. Sign someone else to kick. Come back and close out hour number 1 next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is that website. Jonathan Carbo and his team, just phenomenal folks to work with in the insurance game. A lot of folks have January 1st renewals. The time is short, but you still got enough time if you want to get a second look at your renewal. Maybe get a second set of eyeballs, another option. The Highland Insurance Group will be happy to help you out with that. They'd love to audit your current policy, see what you've got, and what they may be able to do to better your insurance program. And they have dozens of contracted markets, so they can make sure to shop for the right price for your business as well. So give them a call at the Highland Insurance Group. Find them online, HighlandIG.com. They're based here in Baton Rouge. They can help you out statewide and get you a quote that doesn't cost a thing. It's the Highland Insurance Group. Find them online at HighlandIG.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
So prior to my hitting 610 golf shots yesterday, I had to get my LouisianaSports.net story of the day written, and I always on Sunday go back and look at the Pro Football Focus grades for LSU and put the top 5 grades and the bottom 5 grades up and put some brief comments about them. So did that yesterday morning, and in the process of doing so, I came across a circumstance that has not happened in 2 years of the website. All 5 of the highest graded players were on the defensive side of the ball, and all 5 of the lowest graded players were on the offensive side of the ball. That has never happened. And it happened on Saturday. And it's not surprising because LSU's defense only allowed 3 points in the game, and LSU's offense only accounted for 1 touchdown. But the offense for Pro Football Focus's grades did not have a single player grade a 70 or higher. None. How many players were there? 20 guys played offense for LSU on Saturday night, and not one of them graded a 70. Now, say what you will about Pro Football Focus. We do this all the time, but it's like, is it the gospel? No. But, like, that is pretty telling. The highest graded player on LSU's offense for Pro Football Focus on Saturday was Weston Davis. Weston Davis graded a 69.6. Now, credit to Weston Davis, who played 74 snaps at right tackle in the game. His pass blocking grade was an 85.6. That is far and away his best effort as an LSU Tiger. But an indictment on the entirety of the offense that everyone that you had dressed out that played in the game on Saturday graded under a 70. I looked at the number for Michael Van Buren. He was the second lowest graded player on LSU's offense at a 50.7. It made me think of something on Saturday. We were in the stadium. And I'm not trying to hammer Michael Van Buren here. That's not the point of this segment at all. I think he does some good things. I think he did some really good things against Arkansas to win that game late. But there is no more popular player than the backup quarterback ever. And it's so evident. Everyone was so ready for Michael Van Buren 2 weeks ago. And then 2 weeks in, you're kind of like, oh, he's not way better than Garrett Nussmeier. And it's the same thing we saw 2 years ago after Jaden Daniels didn't lead LSU to a win over Florida State. And everybody's going, it's time to put Nussmeier in. Remember the SC championship game? At least he'll throw the ball down the field. You got to put. And then Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy. And this year, everyone's saying, well, Nussmeier can't run. You got to get him out of there. Get Van Buren in. And I said and wrote, I think I would play Van Buren the rest of the way because Nussmeier's just really fighting it a little bit. But I never suggested that Nussmeier was bad or was bad. And that's some of the stuff you hear is that, oh, well, Van Buren's clearly the option. It's well, look, these guys watch practice. These coaches watch practice. They're aware of who the best players on the team are. And I'm not here to suggest that there's never been a player on the bench that probably deserved more time. That, of course, happens anywhere. But they're not going to make just a gross miscalculation with the quarterback. And it was a time for me on Saturday night to step back and go, 2 years ago, everybody wanted to bench Daniels. This year, everybody wants to bench Nussmeier. When teams aren't winning, everyone is just scrambling frantically to find someone to pin that on. You got to blame somebody. And sometimes it's just a little bit of a forced effort. Michael Van Buren may have a really bright future ahead of him. He might play great this coming weekend and beat Oklahoma on the road. He's got some ability. He threw it around last year against Georgia, and he had a great fourth quarter against Arkansas last week. But, again, you saw some of the issues that we saw in August on Saturday where he's a little bit erratic and not the most accurate passer. Now, for looking at Pro Football Focus grades, the defense was awesome. Highest graded player, 21 snaps, Jakeem Jackson, who played a good bit with Mansour laying out. Deshaun Spears, who has really made the most of his limited snaps this year, was a 77.9. He was a 78.4 in coverage. Really good work covering. He had the 2 picks against Florida, one for a pick 6. Had a big sack in this game. He's been pretty good this year, playing behind A.J. Halsey and TaMarcus Cooley. And hopefully you can keep him around and put him on the field next year because I think he's done a good job. I love to see DJ Pickett's grades. He graded a 75.1, had an interception in the game. Of course, had the sack where he came off the edge. His coverage score was 73.5. That's very good. Jamari Butler had 2 sacks. His grade was high. A.J. Halsey almost always grades high, 72.6. But, the defense had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys over 70. The offense had none. And you're not a balanced team. You're a team that is dominated by the defense that doesn't have the offense to come help it along the way. And the defense struggled at Vanderbilt. The defense struggled in Oxford. The defense struggled against Texas A&M. There's no doubt. It's not a flawless group. But they're not getting the help they need from the offense. And that doesn't matter who's under center, which offensive line rotation they're working on, who's split out at wide receiver. It's just an offense that couldn't find its way this year. And that's a bummer. And I got bad news. I wrote a statistically speaking piece on LouisianaSports.net earlier today, and I have all the statistics for Oklahoma's defense in there and where they rank nationally. It is not a real comfortable read. So if you're about to hit the road for Thanksgiving travel, you're looking for something to read to kill some time, I don't know that going to LouisianaSports.net and reading my statistically speaking piece is going to make you feel a lot better. You can do it. I'd appreciate it. I put some work into it this morning. It's got a lot of information in it. it's not super comforting for this LSU offense to go on the road and face the defense they're about to see on Saturday. We'll see. That's it for hour number 1 here on this Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Opened with my thoughts on Lane Kiffin's press conference today. I think we are just days away from him taking the LSU job. We'll see. But I gave my thoughts on his press conference today, as well as the statement Keith Carter put out on Friday before, right after we came off the air. Missed that, you can find it at Hunt on LSU. Talked about the Saints, their loss yesterday, Blake Groupie status, all that. You can find it at Hunt on Saints. Read Ross Jackson stuff over at LouisianaSports.net as well. We'll pause for Sports Center. We'll come back after national headlines. You'll get my SEC picks against the spread. 1 week to go. See how we do. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Center.
I'm Nick DeLuca, Week 12, wrapping up on Monday Night Football tonight with the Panthers and the Niners. The Browns picked up a win yesterday behind Shedeur Sanders' first career start. He's set to make another one. Head coach Kevin Stefanski announcing Sanders will start again against the Niners on Sunday with Dylan Gabriel clearing concussion protocol. Sanders remains the starter after completing 11 of 20 passes for 209 yards, touchdown, and pick in the Browns' win, ending a 17-game losing streak for Cleveland in games with a quarterback making his first career start. Elsewhere, Commanders QB Jaden Daniels returning to practice this week, but unlikely to play against the Broncos. Suffered a scary arm injury in the team's loss to the Seahawks a couple weeks ago. Bengals look to be getting quarterback Joe Burrow back. Head coach Zach Taylor saying he anticipates Burrow making his return on Thanksgiving night against the Ravens. Has been out since week 2. Vikings QB J.J. McCarthy has entered the concussion protocol after reporting symptoms on the flight home last night. Minnesota falling to 4-7 after the loss to the Packers yesterday.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Cannon. Coming up Tuesday, the Rams are the number 1 team in my power rankings, but how will the rest of the top 5 shake out? Find out at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Denton Day, 30 minutes from right now, talking national college football storylines. Let's talk SEC football. I had a winning week, Jordan. 3-2. 3-2.
No, I mean, look, hold on. Before we do that, I'm going to hit the ding for you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, we don't even have a ding?
We do got the ding.
It's so lightly used, we don't even know where it is. That's probably, I'm sure you can find the buzzer instantly. Exactly. Let's see. I had the Oklahoma Sooners. They got the cover against Missouri -6.5. I had Charlotte, the 1-9 49ers. Easy cover. That was 44.5. They covered with ease. What was the final of that game? They were, they only lost by 32. That's a 2-touchdown cover. Easy money for Charlotte. I did have Kentucky. That was a foolish pick because Vanderbilt blitzed them. I also had Coastal Carolina. They got destroyed. But I had Tennessee going to Florida and covering, and they did that. So let's talk about some of that action in the SEC. Let's start with one that kind of hits on the home front here. Eli Drinkwitz took his Missouri Tigers to Norman, Oklahoma, and I realized that Bo Pribula's hurt.
Yes.
But he played. Like, he's out there. And he threw it 36 times. So, he's functional.
Yeah.
And Missouri scored 6 points. There is a world where Eli Drinkwitz is the next coach at LSU. It involves Lane Kiffin not being the head coach at LSU. It involves LSU's brass then determining that Eli Drinkwitz is next. But he's one of the hotter names in this coaching search. He's been brought up at Florida. He's been brought up at Auburn. He's been brought up at LSU. He's been brought up at Penn State. He is one of the hotter names in coaching. And I understand that he won 10 games at Missouri in back-to-back years, that as of a couple weeks ago, they were still in the playoff mix. But he doesn't really excite me with the quality of his teams and their wins.
Yeah.
I feel like he's beating a lot of bad non-conference teams and mediocre SEC teams. And when he steps up in class, I don't feel like Missouri wins games.
They don't.
They can beat South Carolina. They can beat Kentucky. They can beat Mississippi State. They can beat Auburn. But, this was a bad offensive effort by Missouri on Saturday. They finished the game with 6 points. Oklahoma's defense is really good. We're going to talk about Oklahoma's defense tomorrow and Wednesday. And I don't think anybody suggests that LSU is going to go up there and score a bunch of points. But, Missouri has the best running back in the country. He goes for 57 yards. Pribula, 20 of 36 with no touchdowns and 2 picks. This is the innovative, bright, up-and-coming mind that's going to lead LSU or Florida or Penn State to great things. I just have my doubts on this. I don't really get it.
No, you should have your doubts. I mean, if I'm looking at this correctly, this says he's 1-10 against top 10 opponents through 2025.
And I get it. It's at Missouri. Like, it's hard to get elite players at Missouri. They got Luther Burden there. Yeah. And every once in a while you've got an edge rusher that can really play. But, like, this year his wins are Central Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana Lafayette, South Carolina, UMass, Auburn, and Mississippi State. That's who Missouri has beaten this year. Go back to last year when they won 10 games. In Missouri's wins last year, Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, Vanderbilt, UMass, Auburn, Oklahoma, who was a 500 team, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Like, those are the worst teams in the SEC. You go back to the year before that when they had a big year. They beat South Dakota, Middle Tennessee, Kansas State, Memphis, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, who's terrible, and Arkansas.
You know what's funny, though?
They played Georgia, lost. They played LSU and lost.
A lot of those teams that you said they beat, or they're like the same teams they keep beating over and over again.
Yeah, it's always Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Auburn, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Like, he beats them. And I guess the argument would be made, like, he's on their level. He's at Missouri. That's South Carolina's level. That's Kentucky level. And he always beats them. And I guess that would be the argument for. But, like, I'd like you to throw a couple of punches up every once in a while.
Always.
And you're just not there. It's just not there. Like, if you look at Lane Kiffin, like, no, he's never won the SEC, never played for the conference championship. Like, no, but he has beaten LSU with Jaden Daniels, the Heisman quarterback. He crushed Georgia last year.
Yeah.
Like, there are at least some upward punches. I'm not telling you got to beat Georgia every time. I'm not telling you have to win the national championship. But, like, Eli Drinkwitz is just he's a product of his schedule in Columbia to me. That was it. I couldn't help but think that as I watched that game on Saturday, because I'm looking at it from a local angle. Like, this could be the next guy. I think it's Lane Kiffin. It could be the next guy. I'm just not super impressed. Elsewhere in the SEC, Tennessee wins in the Swamp for the first time since 2003. It has been a quick minute since the Vols did that, and I was teetering on throwing the Q word out there with Florida. I don't use quit a lot.
Ooh.
But 31-0 at halftime, a couple weeks after Kentucky just rolled. Now, I know last week they played Ole Miss tight for 3 quarters. I was close to the Q word. Florida State comes out there and beats them by 20. I might label them. Like, I routinely reference 2011 Ole Miss. That team quit. They quit. I'm going to look up their results, but they mailed it in. And I watched it. That was the end of the Houston Nutt era.
Okay.
And I watched them in Oxford in person when LSU's 2011 team, which was dominant.
Yes.
But they quit. And let's see what their last few results were. Okay. So they played. This is the final stretch of games for Ole Miss that year.
You listening?
They played at Kentucky and lost 30-13.
Oh, Lord.
They played Louisiana Tech
and lost
27-7.
Wait, lost?
Lost 27-7.
No.
They played LSU and lost 52-3.
Sound about right.
And then they went to Mississippi State and lost 31-3 at Mississippi State. That team mailed it in. No effort. I'm not pinning that on Florida here, but it's the evidence is damning. Yeah. Well, you got one more shot against Florida State. You play them tough. You play Florida State and Ole Miss tough in the final 2 weeks. I will absolutely give you credit for that, and I won't dump you in. But getting boat raced by Kentucky and then the way Tennessee just up and down the field, like, that's a tough look there for the Gators.
You hit the nail right on the head, though. You said going into it, now Tennessee was gonna do that.
I kind of felt that way. Speaking of rolling up and down the field, you check out my man Arch Manning the last few weeks.
Hey, some are saying he's cooking.
18 of 30 for 389 and 4 touchdowns. Now, Arkansas is just atrocious on defense. But still, that's playing. And if you watch the highlights of that game or you watched it in real time, like, Arch is making some plays. He's looking athletic. It's like he's a talented dude with a really good coach, and they're just getting there. And I said in early October, like, this guy doesn't have it. Like, I said that. I'm wrong. I was wrong. I'm wrong all the time. But I didn't know what else to say. He played UTEP in September and went 11 for 25 for 114 yards, a touchdown, and a pick against UTEP.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm looking up going, this is not very good. But you look at the last few weeks, and it's been against lesser defenses, but you got to start somewhere. He goes for 346 and 3 touchdowns at Mississippi State. Then they played Vanderbilt, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Then at Georgia, not as good, but he did throw for 250 yards. And then against Arkansas, 18 of 30, 389, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, man.
He got some help from a quick slant to start the game, a quick pass to start the game up and down the field. But hey, that happens sometimes when you have good wide receivers. But they got a chance on Saturday.
They do.
They got a chance.
I need them. And I hate Texas, but I hate A&M even more.
Well, my goal, I don't want A&M to play for the SEC championship.
Yes.
I know they're already in the playoff, and I know that they might even get an easier path if they lose and fall to like number 4. Then they'll play, Tulane at home in the first round of the playoffs. But I just don't want them to go to Atlanta. I think it's funny that they've never been. They've been in the league now for 13 years, and they've never been played for the conference championship. So I'm trying to keep them out of there. And if Alabama wins and if Georgia's done. So if Alabama wins against Auburn and Texas beats A&M does not go to the SEC championship. It would be Alabama and Georgia in the SEC championship. So that's what I'm hoping for. Ultimately, it's fighting a losing battle because Texas A&M's got a really good team in there in the college football playoff, and that's really what matters, not the complaining radio host in Baton Rouge. But that's where we are at this point. So that's what I'm looking at. And then the final note that I wanted to talk about in SEC play. Do we need to entertain Diego Pavia for Heisman?
You do. You have to at this point. He
threw for 484 and 5 touchdowns, and Vanderbilt is now ranked in the top 15.
Oh, yeah. See, look, I'm not a Pavia guy. The antics for LSU, rocking in with the shiesty on, with the diamond chains and all that, hitting the Heisman. I'm a big Pavia hater, but you have to give him where credit is due. He has literally brought Vanderbilt out from the ashes and made them an actual, like, you see Vanderbilt on the schedule, you got to buckle your chin strap.
And there's no Cam Newton, there's no Joe Burrow, there's no guy that's just blowing it away. Like, is Julian Sayin going to win the Heisman? Like, for throwing for a bunch of yards against Purdue? I mean, their 2 losses are at Bama and at Texas. And in the Texas game, he went nuts in the second half and gave him a shot. Now, the Bama game was tough. He tried 2 red zone turnovers, and that's bad.
But he was due for that. That was due.
Yeah, I mean, he's put up a ton of offense, and Vanderbilt, if they win in Knoxville, will be 10-2 in the playoffs, and he's their heart and soul. Like, I think it's a possibility. And right now, you can still get decent odds. So if there's a possibility that Julian Sayin throws a couple of picks against Michigan on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
If Marcel Reed loses to Texas, which he should be getting more love than he is anyway.
Very true.
But, like, Jeremiah Love, maybe. But Pavia's maybe worth a sprinkle if you can get good odds right now, because nobody's really grabbing it by the throat. And if he goes into Knoxville with Vanderbilt and puts a statement right there at the end, I feel like there's a chance, especially coming off a 500-yard game that he just had against Kentucky. So that's my other take here on SEC football. That's a look at the Cupcake Weekend in the Southeastern Conference. Denton Day, we'll discuss all that coming up in 15 minutes. We'll be back with more of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. How about America's best warranty? It's industry leading. New purchase at Genesis of Baton Rouge. You get powertrain warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. You get a new vehicle limited warranty, which is 5 years, 60,000 miles, bumper to bumper. It's incredible peace of mind if you've got that to drive around with for 5 years. You've got the enhanced 24/7 roadside assistance, 5 years, unlimited miles. Wherever you go, they'll be there for you. And, of course, you got your complimentary, that's a big word, scheduled maintenance. You don't pay a cent. You don't lift a finger. They'll come to you. They'll valet that car right back, get your maintenance done, bring it back to you. No one likes to deal with maintenance on a vehicle. You don't have to. If you hang out with the folks at Genesis of Baton Rouge and make a purchase there. If you're in the market for a new vehicle in Baton Rouge, you're probably on Airline Highway anyway. Just go away and see them there at Airline at PQ. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
These These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
So Frank Wilson met with the media today at his normal Monday press availability, and our afternoon drive host, Matt Moscona, peppered him with some questions about the injuries from Saturday. And there were so many injuries on Saturday that Frank Wilson literally had to take out a pen and write down all the names so that he got to them all when Matt asked the question. So that's the state of LSU's current roster. Frank Wilson cannot go off of memory with injuries. He has to write them all down. So let me get you, the listener, caught up on where LSU is from an injury perspective. On the offensive line, obviously, Tyree Adams has been out for a month now with the high ankle sprain. He got the tightrope surgery. And then on Saturday, Braylon Moore played 3 snaps and got hurt. And then Ori Williams left the game a little bit later and was in a walking boot. Tyree Adams is, I think Frank Wilson used the term hopeful today, but said in his answer that the more realistic time period for Tyree Adams is the bowl game. So you're not going to have your starting left tackle in this game. Braylon Moore is doubtful, and so is Ori Williams. So it looks like LSU is going to go to this game against Oklahoma, who, by the way, leads the NCAA in sacks and tackles for loss. They will not have their left tackle. They will not have their starting center. They will not have Ori Williams, who is rotated at both tackle spots. So basically, you're looking at an offensive line that likely from left to right goes Carius Kern, Cohen Eccles, DJ Chester at center, Josh Thompson, Weston Davis. That's very likely your offensive line on Saturday. Now, continuing throughout the rest of the roster here, Whit Weeks played in the game on Saturday. He wanted to go out there and play with his two brothers, and they wanted to make that happen, and they did. And then he came out of the game and put the boot back on. It was not because he re-injured the ankle. It was the foot. It was because that was always the plan. They wanted to get him out there in Tiger Stadium on West Senior Day to allow him to play with his brothers. They did that. He has a potential to play more snaps in this game at Oklahoma. Frank Wilson said that they were hopeful that he could see a more increased workload. They'll progress him throughout the week, but no further injury for Whit Weeks. Caden Durham, a defensive lineman, came on a stunt and hit him, and Frank Wilson said it was between the neck and the jaw, and said that it's more of a neck injury than a concussion injury. They're going to hold him out of practice on Tuesday. He may put a no-contact jersey on Wednesday, but said that he had a chance to play in the game on Saturday against Oklahoma. So that's good news for Caden Durham, who went to the injury tent. We thought maybe a concussion. Sounds like it's more of a neck issue there. And then Wilson said he was hopeful about two of LSU's veterans on the outside. Mansour Delane dressed out on Saturday. He was said to be available, did not play, did not come out of the second half in the locker room dressed. He said to the media last week that he's been dealing with an injury all year, some sort of an oblique issue or something. So he's been dealing with that all year. Apparently, he shut that down on Saturday. We'll see if he goes again this coming Saturday. I kind of have my doubts. And then Aaron Anderson, has been hurt since August. He missed some practice time in August. He finally had to sit for the second half of the Ole Miss game. He came back. He's been hurt again, and he did not play. He did not dress on Saturday. They're hopeful with him too. So I have kind of low hopes for those two guys who are veterans on the outside, but we'll see. And then, of course, Garrett Nussmeier. And I was just reading body language on this for Frank Wilson. It did not appear to me that he was all that confident that Garrett Nussmeier was going to play. I said last week when we got word of that injury on Thursday that it just felt like Garrett Nussmeier may have taken his last snap at LSU. We'll see when the bowl game is, but it seems doubtful. I think they're going to go with Michael Van Buren in this game. The quote Wilson gave for Nussmeier was, "We'll give him a go at it and see how he feels. I'll probably give you a better answer when I come in here on Wednesday," is what he said. It just, I'm now like going off of body language and just kind of reading the room. It felt like when Nussmeier's name came up, Frank kind of dipped his shoulders and kind of shrugged and went, "Yeah." So it wasn't. There was no level of confidence that Garrett Nussmeier could come back and help on Saturday for LSU. So it feels like it's going to be Michael Van Buren. It's a banged up team, as you would expect at this point of the year. You've played 11 games. You've had a lot of practices. You've been going full speed ahead since the 1st of August, and LSU's offensive line is really starting to feel it now, and some of these veteran guys are just dealing with nagging injuries that just don't seem to be calming down all that much. So I think you're going to be without a significant amount of those guys. You've got enough bodies on the offensive line. It is what it is. You've got a backup quarterback that you're trying to get a look at as well. As far as running back goes, the more carries Harlan Berry gets, I'm for that, even though I'd like to see Caden Durham come back. Without Delane, your secondary takes a big hit, but they played pretty well in the game on Saturday. P.J. Pickett and P.J. Woodland both had interceptions in the game, so that's good to see. You've gotten some reps from Jakeem Jackson and Deshaun Spears. Those guys can help you at corner and nickel and dime. And then as far as Anderson being out, you saw a lot of guys getting action on Saturday. You saw Destin Hill make a catch. You saw Kyle Parker make a catch. Chris Hilton was in there. At times, he caught the ball on the punt that LSU downed inside the 5-yard line. So you got a bunch of options, but LSU is pretty banged up. So we'll continue to update that as the week progresses over on LouisianaSports.net. But it's a banged up football team that's headed on the road now. Briefly, while I have about 5 minutes before we get to Denton Day, want to talk to you about LSU's basketball team on Friday night. Some distant memory. Got to go to the game with my son, Myers, which was a lot of fun. He really enjoyed it. That was the first game that he had been to basketball perspective and actually watched. We went to a game last year, but he was locked in on the chicken fingers and french fries and ketchup, not so much on the motion offense, on the pick and rolls. This time around, he was watching. It was a lot of fun. And LSU played a very, very good basketball game. Tigers went 15 of 33 shooting it. You saw two guys that they really need to make jump shots, make shots. Max McKinnon, 6 of 8 from 3. And then P.J. Carter, who came over from Memphis. That might not be something that a lot of Tiger fans are very familiar with right now because he doesn't start on this team. not one of the more highly heralded transfers, but he's been an excellent shooter every stop he's ever made in college. So to have him just to log some minutes, he only played 9 minutes, but in 9 minutes he put up 7 threes and made 4 of them. That's a roll. The more you can spread the floor for DJ Thomas to drive and for Mike Nwoku to finish around the rim, the better LSU's offense is going to be. And DJ Thomas has really been impressive running the show. He had 11 more assists and no turnovers. That's 21 assists and no turnovers in the last 2 games for DJ Thomas. This is a difference maker that LSU has not had. And I'm not here to sing the praises of Omaha's basketball team. They're 2-4. I've said every game they've played, every game LSU's played, I have said this is bad competition. I'm not overreacting. But the evidence on DJ Thomas is becoming greater and greater. He is running the show. He is distributing. He's getting 8, 9, 10 assists every single night. And that's going to be an identity of this team. I don't think he's going to average 10 assists a game. I don't think Mike Nwoku is going to lead the SEC in scoring. Those are products of LSU playing bad teams. But the fact that there's an identity forming and that I think you can count on those to a lesser degree in SEC games is going to be something LSU absolutely leans on. And this team offensively has the pieces to be pretty good if they can shoot the ball really well. Because Thomas is going to find gaps. He's going to make good decisions. And Nwoku is a big physical presence down there. So is Jalen Reed. And if you can spread the floor and create driving lanes for those guys and create space in the scoring areas, I think LSU can be a pretty good offensive team. They've scored over 90 in every game. They had 99 in this game. They're not going to average 90 a game in SEC play, again. But it feels like it's a balanced offense that has the requisite pieces. They didn't have an option in the front court last year. Their point guard play was bad last year, and that cripples you trying to win games in the SEC. Right now, I think they have both of those things, and when they get that floor spacing to go with it, it's awesome. So great for McKinnon to see a few balls go in, 6 of 8 from 3. Great for Carter to do it, and for LSU to shoot in the game 46% from three-point range. That's not sustainable, but it was a really encouraging thing to see on Friday against Omaha. So good stuff from LSU's basketball team. We will see them next on Friday in Destin. I think Niceville, technically. They'll play Drake on Friday night late. So looking forward to that. We'll see if LSU's got a football coach by then. That's going to be a weird night. Egg Bowls at 11 o'clock in the morning. Then you've got LSU basketball and potentially an announcement from Oxford. Maybe not, but maybe so. So we'll see. But LSU Hoops moves to 4-0 with that victory over Omaha. We come back. Denton Day, SiriusXM's college football overtime next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Hitter's House. That's Marucci. Don't want to miss it. You can shop and you can save. Swing into the holidays with Hitter's House. November 28th, that's coming up later this week, through the 14th. You can get incredible discounts on Marucci, Victus, Baum, Lizard Skins. Whether you've got a young baseball player in the house, you've got a young fast pitch player in the house. You can also get footwear, cleats, and trainers. Look, get fast pitch athletes. You know about Marucci's Asura. Got to check it out. It's the hottest new fast pitch bat, and it's taking over. You can get yours at a discount at Hitter's House. 20% off if you go on the Marucci campus tour. So check it out. Hitter's House, November 18th through December 14th. Looking for Christmas presents. No better spot to go than Marucci.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Attention diesel mechanics. River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Chugging along here on this Monday. Appreciate you spending time with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. This time of the week, we always chat with our guy Denton Day, SiriusXM's college football overtime on the news of the week. We join him now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Denton, how are you, sir?
Hunt, what's up, man? Are you guys bracing for the arrival of Lane, or how is that working this week?
At this point, everybody's just resigned to the fact that that is happening. I don't know if that confidence is completely well-founded. But I'm certainly in that camp. I think he's headed this direction. You're not in our little purple and gold bubble. What do you think?
It changes literally every day. Yesterday I thought it was Florida. The day before that I thought it was Ole Miss. When they did the statement, I thought it was LSU. It literally changes every single day. You know, that statement that they put out at the end of last week I thought was silly because of the very end. But then I slept on it and realized maybe they just suck at PR and they think that they're actually cooking here. Though I would point out, Lane did not tweet out a motivational picture today. So I don't know if he just forgot or if they're realizing that the bit is over and eventually he's just going to have to make a decision.
What does your gut tell you now?
Gut says LSU.
Yeah.
That just seems like the best option for him if he hasn't signed the contract, because I don't have any doubt, Hunt, that a contract from Ole Miss has been pushed across the table and said, we have this deal ready for you when you want to sign it, if you want to sign it, and that decision just hasn't been made.
It's I thought Chase Parham, who covers Ole Miss for 24/7, had it was a flawed analogy, but it painted a picture very well, which is really all you're trying to accomplish. He said, if you think Lane Kiffin is truly committed to Ole Miss and the best thing for Ole Miss football, this would be like a suicide bomber admiring the dent he put in a building. Like, you're doing so much damage to your program, to your team's focus, to everything that's going on during the best run in the history of the program, that it just doesn't make any sense anymore for him to just let this go on if he is considering staying at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I thought Trinidad Chambliss posting about it today was kind of the perfect personification of that thought, because why on earth would he be posting that if it wasn't clearly a discussion or a topic of discussion in the locker room? It feels like the couple that that broke up, but is showing everybody on social media they have not broken up. That's kind of what that feels like, and that's considering that you're on the brink of something really special and getting to the college football playoff. for the first time in the program's history, this is not the kind of discussions that you want to have circulating your program, especially because, Mississippi State's not a powerhouse by any stretch, but this is not the same old Mississippi State. Like, they have had a good year, so that's very much a stumbling block potentially for Ole Miss.
No doubt. We'll see. The eyes of the country will be watching that one on Friday morning at 11 our time. Let's go back to what we saw over the weekend. We knew this was coming. We knew it was coming, but it's here. Like, Notre Dame is playing pretty good, and we know what they were in September. Like, what's your read on the Irish? Are they a threat?
I think they are, because their running back is really good.
He's awesome.
I don't know that C.J. Carr is enough of a dynamic passer at this point in his college career to be a legitimate threat. But they have a playmaker in Jeremiah Love, and I think the biggest difference between a guy like Jeremiah Love in his situation now and Ashton Genty in his situation last year is that a running back is not going to win you a football game when you are at a Group of 5 school. Where I know Notre Dame's not a Power 4, but they effectively are grouped in with a Power 4. Yeah. They have enough talent around him on offense and defense to at least make up for some of the lapses. So I do think he is capable of leading the team.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
To potentially, win a game or two.
Apologies for that, but that's all right. Let's keep chugging along. Look, I surprised that Pitt just absolutely smoked Georgia Tech on Saturday.
Yes, because I kind of thought Georgia Tech was good, man, and they looked good at the beginning of the season, and I don't know what has happened in terms of the focus, but it has felt like there's a little bit of a cloud over the head of Georgia Tech. And I can't point to exactly why that is, because their quarterback is still healthy. They're just not executing, and they've gotten out-physicaled. And getting out-physicaled by Pitt is maybe not like a massive deal, because Pitt is, if nothing else, a good.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
For Louisiana children with life.
How good's Oregon?
They are good. I thought this weekend in particular was a really big deal because their offense played really, really well, despite the fact that they are still injured. When they first lost some of their wide receivers, it felt like they didn't know what to do with themselves. But now they're playing in a very dynamic way offensively. USC is, they're a good team. I think they'd be in playoff contention had they not have lost to Illinois at the beginning of the year. That was just a backbreaker of a loss. But I think Oregon is a good team. They're like right on the outside of the teams that I would consider to be real threats in the college football playoff. But I think their offense is dynamic enough, especially if they start to get healthy, because they'll be off for, after this weekend, all things considered. If Indiana and Ohio State take care of business, they'll be off for a couple of weeks, which will allow their guys to Corian Moore and Gary Bryant Jr. to hopefully get back and healthy.
All right, let's talk about some of the rivalry games this weekend with high stakes. Texas A&M trying to finish off a 12-0 season in Austin against an Arch Manning-led team that's starting to play some pretty good offensive football. You give the Horns a shot?
Nope, I am not falling for that one again.
Okay.
Gave them a little bit of a shot against Georgia, and we saw how that went. With all due respect to Arkansas, that's exactly the team where Arch Manning would have 6 total touchdowns against. I don't think he's doing that against Texas A&M. So that fairy tale is done for me. I have learned my lesson. I am not going back to the well.
One highly touted freshman quarterback, or highly touted high school quarterback, to another one here. Bryce Underwood in Michigan welcoming undefeated Ohio State to the Big House. It's a 9.5-point spread. We know that Ohio State has now got a Michigan issue on their hands. Do you give the Wolverines a chance?
Because of that Michigan issue, yes, because it feels mental at this point for Ohio State and for Ryan Day. And you know as well as I do, sometimes that mental stuff can really get in the way of a good football team. So I'd give Michigan a little bit of a chance, certainly more than Texas, but still not a great one because it does feel like this Ohio State team is definitively the best team in the country, although I recognize they haven't really played anybody.
That's the issue, but I just think we just give them the benefit of the doubt because we know they got a lot of good players, so I'm good with that. Can Diego Pavia win the Heisman on Saturday?
Oh, my God. This is somehow I got plucked and dropped into Vanderbilt's Twitter, and it's been the most annoying 24 hours on Twitter of my life. here's the problem, and this kind of goes back to Ohio State. If you look at the four, best contenders right now, if you're just looking at the quarterbacks, none of these dudes have played a tough schedule, and that's really demoralizing. But with Diego Pavia, I mean, he played great against Kentucky. There's no doubt about that. He should definitely go to New York. But if you look at his numbers against the ranked opponents, they're not nearly as impressive as the numbers against the unranked opponents. I mean, if he does what he did this past weekend at Tennessee this upcoming weekend, the conversation shifts because Tennessee, at the very least, has a number next to their name, and they're a halfway decent team. But like most of his games against ranked opponents, I don't even know if he's clearing 200 yards passing.
Yeah.
And like you got to throw the ball around the yard a little bit. So the story, I guess, is there, although the comparisons to Johnny Manziel, I think people need to revisit Johnny Manziel's career and realize that he beat Alabama, which Diego Pavia did last year, but not this year. In fact, they did not play a good second half in that one this year. I think he's a fun story, but I'm not riding him for the Heisman Trophy.
All right, let's talk about this, because I did a segment on this at the top of my hour, because there's some buzz around Eli Drinkwitz at a lot of places, including LSU, depending on what the Kiffin result is. And I rattled off the teams that Missouri has beaten the last 3 seasons, where they won 11 games, 10 games, and then 8 games this year so far. They beat South Carolina a lot. They beat Kentucky a lot. They beat Vanderbilt a lot. They beat Auburn a lot. But that's it. And I'm curious why his name is so hot at Florida, Penn State, LSU, Auburn. Is it just because they have a lot of wins?
There's nobody else. I mean, think about it. You have these, 3, because I think his name's kind of been tied to Penn State, although, I mean, that has gone a very different direction than I think most of us anticipated. But, most people, Lane Kiffin withstanding, most people are not going to leave a team in the college football playoff. And because there's so many teams that get in now, you kind of have to not go to the bottom of the barrel, because I think Drink is at the very least towards the top of the barrel. But he's not your traditional big sexy hire. There's just nobody else. And when you're a program like Florida, I don't think they can go back to the well with a hot young group of 5 coach, right? And I think LSU is, maybe they could go Summerall if they really want to, but they don't have a lot of options outside of that. There's just not a lot of really like sexy up and coming names. So because of that, I think he's making himself a lot of money. I think he's a good coach. I think winning those caliber games with Missouri is impressive, but you're right. It's not like he's beating Bama. It's not like they're beating LSU. In fact, I distinctly remember the game where they, should have beaten LSU, and then Jane Daniels comes back in after missing the drive or 2, leads them to a victory, and he got me skewered on social media because that's when I said the Commanders need to draft him, and Sam Howell was playing well, and people started coming after me, and look who's right now. So I think he's just the name that's available. I mean, honestly, Lane Kiffin is not worth the money that some of these schools are going to pay him. He's just the best available name.
And last one here, just because I think it's funny. I said this after Oklahoma beat Alabama. Kalen, you better not lose that Iron Bowl. Like, you really need to not lose that Iron Bowl. And we know when they go to Jordan-Hare, some goofy stuff can happen. Like, what is the possible fallout if Kalen DeBoer loses that football game to miss the playoff?
The Penn State head coaching job.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's real?
I think there's more smoke to that fire than I thought there was going to be. I still don't think he's going to leave. I mean, that is a definitive step back. I mean, with all due respect to Penn State, that's a definitive step back. But it's a lot easier to be there. No one was calling for James Franklin's job if they won the lottery up there. No one was, having pitchforks on a weekly basis because he lost a game. They kind of were resigned to the fact that, hey, Franklin's not going to beat Ohio State and Michigan, but we kind of like him. So I think it's much more comfortable for a coach like Kalen DeBoer. And to be completely honest, it always felt like he was much more of like a Big Ten coach than an SEC coach to me. I don't know if that's just because of the Penix ties and he was with him when he was at Indiana, but he's always felt like more of a Big Ten coach. If he loses that Iron Bowl, I would feel very comfortable saying that he's going to Penn State. If he wins and they get into the playoff, I don't think that's happening. But if they lose, he's going to Penn State.
That would be so wild in this time of this search where it feels like there's not enough coaches to go around, and then you drop Alabama's name into the whole deal. And I mean, we know that Lane Kiffin wanted that Alabama job, so maybe that's an interesting caveat to the entire situation. I think the 72 hours from Saturday through Tuesday are going to be wild.
wild. I mean, it is going to be the college football doesn't really have a hot stove like MLB does, but it's going to be the closest thing to it.
Well, enjoy it and have a great holiday, and we'll talk next week.
Yep, happy holidays, son. I'll talk to you.
Denton Day, SiriusXM's college football overtime. Alabama's only a 6.5-point favorite in that game at Auburn. Like, that game is weird. It's weird stuff. That's a fascinating thought. We do What If Wednesday on this show. Like, what if Kalen DeVore loses the Iron Bowl and then goes to Penn State and Alabama's now open? And like, who? That's a lot to deal with. See, I'll be interested. Come back and close it out next. I am extremely sore because I spent 4 hours hitting golf balls yesterday at Swing Easy Golf Club. You can go check out the video on YouTube. It's on our 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. I had a blast yesterday. I'm paying for it today, and I'm distraught that I didn't make a hole-in-one. But I hit 610 shots at Swing Easy. You don't have to hit 610 shots, but go see them. They're on Segan at Perkins. This afternoon, we are going to pick a winner from those who guessed how many shots it would take me since I didn't make a hole-in-one. Had to get back after nap time. I had left my wife for long enough to go hit golf balls. I thought that I would get it done in 2 hours. I gave it 4, couldn't get it done. You can try. Go tee it up. Pebble Beach, 7th hole. Try to make a hole-in-one. See if you're better than me. But it's a lot of fun. It was a great day there at Swing Easy Golf Club, and highly recommend y'all go check them out. Segan at Perkins online at swingeasygcbr.com. Swingeasygcbr.com.
Hey, running a business is not easy. You need more than a bank. You need someone in your corner. With Gulf Coast.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Attention diesel mechanics. River Parish Contractors has an immediate full-time opening with benefits. Valid licenses and TWIC card is required to apply. Call or text Big Jake today at 985-479-9858 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on Apply Now. Come be part of the team that values hard work, has a high standard of excellence, and delivers projects on time and safely. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Flight by Yingling.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, wrapping things up here on this Monday. Been a fast-moving show. Just like time is just, it's all jumbled right now with the holidays and the Kiffin situation. Like that football game was so bizarre on Saturday night because it was so boring. Like it's been a weird 2 weeks. It really has. And we thought this November was going to be one where we were looking at, playoff brackets and matchups, championships, and all of a sudden we're in the middle of lawsuits, buyouts, and coaching searches. It's never a dull moment, but it's been a wild 2 weeks, and I don't think it's going to slow down this week. Got a holiday in the middle of it, but I don't think it's going to slow down, so we'll have much more talking about on tomorrow's show. For right now, though, let's play Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Flight by Yingling, delicious, delicious light beer. It will not guarantee you a hole-in-one on a golf simulator because I had a couple yesterday at Swing Easy Golf Club, but didn't make a hole-in-one. But the flights were delicious. And if you're looking for a cold pop on this holiday weekend, how about Flight by Yingling? It's the next generation of light beer.
Okay, let's keep it in the SEC. So Georgia's, I don't know how I want to start this. Okay, let's go. Kirby Smart dismissed backup offensive lineman Nair Daniels on Monday, a day after his arrest after allegedly driving more than 150 miles an hour.
What?
While attempting to, you shouldn't be surprised at Georgia, while attempting to flee police in Commerce, Georgia. Is Kirby still recruiting NASCAR drivers? Take it or leave it.
Take it.
I'll take it.
Guys, let's just not do it. I mean, we got significant issues at UAB over the weekend. Like, I think everybody's okay, so we can bring it up.
The stabbing?
We're stabbing two teammates over breakfast?
Yeah.
Can we just not do that? Can we not go 150 miles an hour away from the police? Like, let's not do that.
But again,
it's an amazing coincidence that Georgia just continues to happen.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth. Honestly, it's kind of like an initiation process. Like, you have to do this to get accepted onto the Georgia's football program. So let's start it off with another Kelly. Chip Kelly was fired from the Raiders as the highest-paid offensive coordinator in NFL. Even though Brian Kelly is not his brother, are the Kelly brothers the worst coaching duo in the, I guess you could say, professional sports? Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it. They've won some games, but not a good year for the Kellys. Let me just put the cards on the table. I didn't know Chip Kelly was the offensive coordinator of the Raiders. I know that he was at Ohio State last year and he left. I didn't know it was at the Raiders. I can't keep up.
The Raiders been bad, so that's...
I'm not watching a lot of Raiders football. I can promise you that. I don't have any Raiders on the field. I do have Brock Bowers. Hopefully the new coordinator throws it to Brock Bowers some. I'm no longer trying to make the playoffs. I'm trying to avoid being the worst team in the league, so I have to buy the food at the draft next year. So I need Brock Bowers to get some more points.
How many games are you away from being the worst team, or where are you at?
I'm in last.
Oh, my.
No, I'm in second to last.
Okay, what's the record of the last guy?
I think so. We have two games every week. You have your head-to-head, and then the top 5 teams in the league get a win, and the bottom 5 get a loss. So you have 2 results every week, and I think he's 1 or 2 behind.
Okay. So
it's not good. Yeah. I'm in jeopardy. I'll tell you this. I know this for sure. I have the fewest points in the league.
Ooh, you got to lock in.
Brock Bowers, get points.
Okay.
New offensive coordinator in Vegas. Make it happen.
Hey, you never know. Okay, so start off with something a little historical. Myles Garrett has now recorded 18 sacks in 11 games. That means he is just 5 sacks away from setting the NFL's all-time single-season sack record with 6 games left on Cleveland's schedule. Michael Strahan currently has a record at 22.5. Was Myles Garrett the new sack leader? Take it or leave it?
I'll take it. I think he can get there. I don't know who they're playing.
I'll take it.
If he can get one of the quarterbacks to fall down right in front of him at the last sack, that would help a lot. It was a bad acting job, is what it was.
Yeah.
When Favre did that.
Yeah,
I mean, you can make it more believable than that.
Hey man, you gotta protect yourself out there. Michael Strahan was coming with bad intentions.
He took a dive.
Hey, look. If you see Myles Garrett, I know you're a Bengals fan. I know you've seen that clip of like Myles Garrett right up the A gap, and Joe Burrow is like, "Oh my God," and he just smokes Joe Burrow. Sometimes protect yourself, man. Protect yourself.
What do you think is worse for the body? One shot from Myles Garrett through the A gap, or 610 swings at Swing Easy Golf Club? Like, what would make you feel worse the next day?
Bro, these are bad choices. 600 shots is a lot of shots, but getting hit by a behemoth is.
So Matt Moscona came in. This morning. He goes, "You played like the equivalent of like 6 rounds of golf," and I was like, "Well, technically, like 610 shots. If you shot 100, that would be 6 rounds, but like 50 of those shots are putts."
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't take any like real, like this was all full swings.
Full swing. Just
so this was the
everything
equivalent of basically like 8 10 rounds of golf.
See, look, you should have got into like a nice Epsom salt bath after that. You're like, you need to just kick your feet up. I'm more surprised you're not in a wheelchair right now. I would have been hurt.
My arms are not feeling good. I got to go run after this, and I'm not really looking forward to that either. I did not run this morning. I did take the morning off. I wrote my story this morning. I did not run, but I will go run when I get home. But the arms are not feeling great.
I can imagine that. 600 shots is crazy.
It was a lot. None of them went in the hole.
That's it for a ticket.
Presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Jay Johnson met with the media today. It was right before my show. Well, actually during the first segment of my show. So we'll get some of that sound. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to try to get Coach Johnson on Wednesday's show. Maybe a few of y'all traveling, so we might get a bit. They've concluded fall ball, so I want to get a catch up with Jay here moving forward. And Matt McMahon meets with the media tomorrow before they head to Destin. So plenty going on that front. Also, LSU plays Oklahoma this week, and we'll certainly talk about that as we move forward in the week as well. Missed any of today's show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Hunt on LSU is our LSU channel on YouTube. Hunt on Saints is our Saints channel on YouTube. You can subscribe to those to get your preferred content. Matt's about to drive you home on After Further Review. We will see you tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
The Hunt Palmer Show. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award.